President Trump is vowing to fight an appeals court decision that does not allow him to reinstate the travel ban. Mr. Trump accuses the judges of playing politics instead of following the letter of the law. So let's ask Greg Jarrett. He's an attorney and a Fox News anchor as well. Who's right here?
Well, Trump in the long run will be right. He's losing these early skirmishes principally because, it's the Ninth Circuit. They have an 80% reversal rate. You got to think the Supreme Court gets awfully tired of overturning just about everything the Ninth Circuit does.
But you're not surprised by the Ninth Circuit's decision.
No, at least they're consistently wrong. They're sort of an island unto themselves with their own rules of law that are utterly anathema to the Constitution and the U.S. Supreme Court. I mean, this is 29 pages, the ruling. It's poorly reasoned, and it is contrary to established constitutional law enunciated by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Well, for instance, they say that the plaintiffs have standing to sue here.
Utterly absurd. I mean, when you read this, they're saying, well, a couple of professors won't be able to come to our University of Washington, a public university. Some researchers for 3 months won't be able to travel to these 7 countries as if they're really going to. That's sort of hypothetical potential de minimis harm. It's not significant actual harm to maintain a lawsuit.
But they also basically say that pretty much anybody in the world has the rights of an American citizen, right?
Yeah, this was the really absurd and astonishing part of it. I mean, look, citizens and people on American soil have due process rights. Well, this court seems to be implying that just everybody in the world does. If you want to come to the United States, you're an alien or foreigner, well, you really ought to have some due process rights. That's never happened in America. The Supreme Court has prevented that from happening.
They also, the court, found no evidence of terrorism emanating from those 7 countries, and that's a problem on a couple of levels.
Well, this is the most offensive part of their decision and their reasoning. They say there's no evidence of any terrorism from these 7 nations. Well, they're wrong completely, and all they had to do was spend 5 minutes Googling it. Some time ago, the Judiciary Committee issued a list of 60 individuals who have been arrested and most of them convicted of foiled terrorist plots. It's like the doctrine of self-defense. You don't have to wait to be shot to defend yourself. It's the duty of the president to take preemptive actions. And regardless, it's irrelevant. These judges don't have security clearance for that classified information.
It's not their job.
Their job is to decide, is this statute constitutional? Does the president have authority? Not whether he's exercising his authority wisely.
Did they look at the 1952 statute that the administration cited?
Not that I could tell. I mean, I searched for 29 pages. They ignored the one thing that they should have and must evaluate, the 1952 statute that specifically gives the president, conferred by Congress, the authority to exclude a certain class of aliens if they pose a threat. I guess this court thought, wow, we can't get around that one, so let's just ignore it.
We will keep an eye on this one. Could be headed for the Supreme Court.
I don't think so. I don't think the Supreme Court would ever take a case on an interim temporary order.
Oh.
They don't like to do that. They want full litigation in the lower courts before they decide it. And besides, the whole thing expires in a couple of months.
Greg Jarrett. Greg, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jenna.